Hey, I got something to say, and boy, do I have a ton to say. My pal, my buddy, my colleague, Harriet Stein, is in the house. And she just came out with her new book, Perfect Attendance, Being Present for Life. I freaking love this book. It's an awesome stand, a coffee table, and refer to it often. Her stories are amazing, and the tidbits that she has in there, off the charts. Oh, Harriet's in the house. I can't talk about her anymore. Hi, Harriet.
Hello there, Sandy. Whoops.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me perfectly fine this time?
I totally can, 100%.
Yay! Anyhow, Harriet, I know it's going to sound like a little wackadoo, but I am so proud of you. So proud. I mean, you know, I got books everywhere. I get books given to me all the time, and I love so many of them. But I love you dearly, and I was so hoping, please let it be good. Please let it be good, right? Because I know you so well, and I'm not a good baker schmaker, right? And I was like, oh my God. So it's not even your valuable life lessons. Like I said, it's something you want to keep by your bedside or your coffee table. It's your stories. So relatable, so honest, so vulnerable. All right, before we get into that, and hi, Pat, thanks for showing up. Love you. Let me just tell them a little bit about you. Harriet is the creator of an award-winning global mindfulness program, recently published her first book, Perfect Attendance, Being Present for Life. She's also a professional speaker. And I know this because I get good advice, a registered nurse. Harriet works with organizations that want to maximize performance via the power of mindfulness. So, Harriet, we're going to just dive right into it, baby, because you know this is a big subject. And my people, they already are up on this subject, and they do have a lot to say about this subject. They're also very confused about this subject, you know? It's a big subject. 4 years ago, they were like, huh? And now it's like, what is mindfulness? So, the number one question, Harriet, I got is please ask Miss Stein, what does mindfulness mean to her, and how can I apply it into my everyday life? Big question, but we're opening up with it.
So when you say what does it mean to her, do you mean what does it mean to you, or what does it mean to me?
You. They said, what does it mean to her? They want to know what mindfulness means to you.
Yeah. So to make a very long story short, because it's actually the opening of my book where I talk about, it's dedicated to my mother. It's why I call the book Perfect Attendance. What it means to me is that it's really important to be practicing some self-care. And that self-care is not a luxury. And, you know, a lot of people have told me that they started crying through the first page of my book. And I was like, I tried to make the book, like, you know, somewhat humorous. Like, there's funny things. I don't know if you found any funny things in the book, but
I was cracking my butt off. Yes. I mean, it's like a great speech. It's like a great book. You laugh, you cry, you laugh, you cry. Yeah.
So, you know, when my mom was ill, she was in the hospital, and I said, what are you thinking about? And she said, oh, I just, you know, I had not been sick for 7 years, and now I broke my record. And I was so upset that she wasn't thinking of herself. She was thinking of this arbitrary, you know, give it 110% at work, you know, nothing left over for your family and friends, right? We all know what that's like. We know what it's like. And that's when I said to her, perfect attendance is being present for life, not work, right? It's part work, right? We definitely want to be present for work, but we really want to be there present for everything else. So that's what it means to me. I try to be present every day. I try to make memories. You know, if we don't make the memory, if we pay attention, we're going to miss it. We will totally miss the experience. And, I'm sure we'll be talking about this. You don't want to miss your vacation. You don't want to miss that really great birthday party that that I've got coming up in a few weeks. You don't want to miss these things.
I'm so glad you brought it up, because I just had a friend of mine say she had a birthday party 2 weeks ago, and it was, I didn't understand it, but now you're making me understand it. It wasn't about what she actually did at the party. It was what she could tell people about the party. Mm-hmm. And I was, huh? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't as if, I said, well, you know me, did you have fun? That's all I care about. Did you have fun? She's like, I don't know, but when I tell my story, I had fun.
Yeah, so that's exactly the problem. That's the challenge. I would say about, I don't know, maybe it was 4 years ago, I was asked to give a program at a company. And after the program, someone came up to me and said, I'm getting married soon. And, what can I do to make sure that I remember it? Because so many people get married and then they tell me, oh, it was a blur that day. I don't remember anything that happened. And I said, I want you to place a pause frequently during that day and use all of your senses, not just what you're seeing, all of them. And I actually posted this on LinkedIn recently with a photograph of her. So if you go to my LinkedIn page, you're going to see this beautiful wedding photo of April, who let me share it. And it was just really important to her to remember her wedding. And after it was over, she reached out to me. She sent me the photographs of her wedding on the beach in one of my favorite places, Ocean City, New Jersey. And she said, I remember everything. I remember everything about my wedding because I kept placing a pause and using all my senses. What did it sound like? What did the sand feel like in my toes? Right? All of your senses.
Yeah. Take it all in, and I'm going to do this shout out to my friends here from Living Well with Pat Nogar. I'm not very good at taking pictures, Harriet. Okay. I forget, all right? Which I would like some because you have memories. But what I'm really good at is I am present. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I'm there, I'm there. Now, would I like some pictures? Yes, I would, because I'm like, wait a minute, I have no pictures of my son's birth. And you want that. But I can tell you that I just want to be there and just take it all in. So I was telling somebody last night at this networking event for the Sophia group, and she said, okay, well then ask Harriet. That's one tip. What else can I do to ensure that I am in the moment, quote unquote, especially when she's with her in-laws? And there are many moments that she doesn't quite enjoy. And we'll call her Sally Bell, right?
Okay. All right. Okay. So I had a feeling you were going to ask me something like this.
You did.
Okay. And I don't know why, but I had a feeling. I brought this book with me to say exactly, and I thought, let me see if I can quickly. It starts on page 47. I wanted to be able to pull it up for you, okay? Because the chapter is on acceptance. Acceptance. So here's the thing. Whether we are accepting that, we're going to our in-laws, just like use that specific example. We're going to our in-laws. They're never going to be different in-laws. Like, you're not going to show up and be like, oh my goodness, look at this. I have Robert De Niro as a father-in-law. Like, that's like not going to more than likely happen. Or whoever, like, oh my goodness, Beyonce's my mother-in-law. It's like not going to happen. You're going to show up at that event and it's going to be your in-laws. right? So it's not saying that this is a practice. Mindfulness is a practice of non-judgment, right? So we're not judging it as good. We're not judging it as bad. We're just accepting it, that we're going to show up there and it's your in-laws. And you're like, all right, that you're not going to, just kind of like when you have a really big event and you want it to be beautiful because it's going to be outside and it rains, right? You could only cry over that for so long. It's not going to in any way affect the weather. We just accept it. It's not saying we have to like it. We just accept it. And then you'll notice possibly a little shift going on inside where you can be like, oh, look, there's my in-laws. There they are, doing what they do.
By the way, your tone is priceless. There they are. They're my in-laws. This is who they are. Like, don't go. I'm so about that. Don't go in and think they're going to be different this time, whatever they are.
Well, so can I bring up one more?
Go for it. This is your show.
Okay. Page 69, beginner's mind. Every moment is a new moment. Every day is a new day. And if you watch Ted Lasso, if you had that wonderful opportunity, everyone deserves second chances. So when you see your in-laws the next time, bring beginner's mind to it as if you have never seen them before, because that day never existed before.
Ah, yeah. I think that's so important. And I've never seen that show, but everyone keeps saying, Sadie, you would like that show.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Okay. So I want to go into some of my favorite stories because I have a lot. But please, oh, please, let's start with the dry cleaner story. Because a lot of my ladies out there are going to be, I don't know, I would have been that good.
So I was asked to speak at a program, and I wanted to look extra special nice. And I went to one of my favorite stores, which happens to be Talbot's, and I bought one of those classic, Talbot dresses to look very professional. And I went, I gave my talk, and some people commented on how lovely my dress was. And the next day, I went into my dry cleaner, and she goes, "What a lovely dress." And I said, "Thank you." She should have stopped there, because she then followed up with, "Does it come in other sizes?" Does it come in other sizes? Okay, this wasn't a Chanel dress, right? It wasn't made specifically for me. She could see that this wasn't, coming off the runways in Paris. It was coming from the store Talbot's. So, I said in the book that this is proof that I practice mindfulness since the woman is still alive, and I did not put her through the front window that was glass of her dry cleaner store. So I think that showed a bit of compassion and restraint on my side, because we all say stupid things sometimes. Who doesn't? Yeah. I've done it. We've all done it. I don't think she was trying to be mean. I think that she is a lot smaller than I am. Yeah. And, I'd like to be a little smaller myself. Let's be honest. I'm working on it. And, I just think
you wanted the same dress in a smaller size. That's it.
It slipped out. I think it just slipped out. I wonder if it comes in a smaller size.
So, the moral of the story is when you pause. Well, this is me. I mean, I read what you read, but this is what I got out of it. When you take a step back and you think about it, most times we all say ridiculous things. Most times, many of us don't mean to hurt someone. And you don't let those words hurt you, and you realize what she really meant. She liked your dress, and you can change it up and make it look like a compliment, that she would love to get that dress. That's what I got out of it.
Exactly. And that's what you were supposed to get out of it. that, this is a practice of non-judgment. We all say things sometimes that, and it's not just verbally.
Yeah.
Who among us has not sent a text and then thought right after we hit send, I shouldn't have sent that. I shouldn't have done that. We send the email and we think, I shouldn't have sent that email. Why did I send that?
Well, I've practiced that a long time with the text and email, but the word thing, there may have been times, Harriet, that I have said, I know that you didn't mean to be that ridiculous. And I don't think that was the kind words. Or I know you didn't really mean to sound like an idiot right now. Now, you could say.
Yeah. So that's not bad if you had said it without the idiot word, probably. Like, I know that's probably not what you meant.
Yeah, I know you didn't mean to hurt me. I could have just stopped there.
Right.
Okay. I'm working on it. All right, so. Oh, God. Well, but look at one of your tips here. We're saying that it's more than okay to be honest. Now, I'm taking that out of context.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a recent vacation, and that you don't have to make it all lollipops and sugar plums, that you can be honest. So tell me about that.
So I don't want to be labeled as the person who is against happiness, okay? And that's always my concern.
Oh, that's good.
Because just like everyone in the world, I too, Sandy Joy, would love to have, a lot of happiness and joy in my life. So the thing is, which I'm literally going to flip open again. And I'm going to tell you.
I mean, I'm going to birdie candle right now.
Nope.
I like the way you said, Sandy Joy.
It's on page 124 because it's about non-striving. The thing is, a lot of times people think mindfulness is about being happy, and it is not. It is not about trying to be anything other than your authentic self.
I love that. Whatever it is.
Right, whatever it is. Because if I told you right now that, your mother-in-law broke her ankle and you have to run to the emergency room, you're not going to be happy. Now, once you get there and you see that she's okay and you can bring her home, then maybe you're relieved. But we go through many emotions during the day. And what happens is, frequently on social media, you see a lot of positivity, right? And not always a lot of authenticity. So you see a lot of, here I am at the beach and here are my feet, which I think is quite, I always find that very funny. At times I've done it myself. I don't know who started the let me show you my feet trend when I'm on vacation, but it's like, here I am at the beach and you can see my toes in the sand, or here I am at the pool and you can see my toes at the pool. I mean, maybe we could start a whole new trend. Here I am on vacation, right? Enjoying looking at the ocean, right? And not necessarily that everybody.
I know where you're going with that. Like, here I am in my armpit. I didn't know.
Right. Well, the thing is, when something goes wrong, like on vacation, and it starts raining, a lot of times people are not going to be posting, I'm sitting here in a hotel room miserable, right? Dude, you don't see a lot of, my child just came home and they're screaming and just went into their room and slammed the door. Like, those aren't the normal posts that people see. And yet, those are the normal things that are part of our everyday life. So it's about being real. Gotta keep it real.
Hey, I got something to say. All right. I love that. And I think that clears up a lot for my people, because I'm getting, a lot of people don't want to be on the screen, so I'm getting emails come in, calm down. You go, Harriet. You go, Harriet. All right. I'm going to try to get in one of these questions.
Okay.
It's from a man, but we're going to let him in. He is a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
He agrees with you. But again, he doesn't want to look like a doom and gloom, but he tries to educate his patients that it's phony baloney if everyone just looks like they're always happy and joyful. I tell people that all the time. Yes, I do daily joys. I can't come on there and be like a big downer because it's called daily joy. Like, how are we going to spin this and highlight it? But come into my home and ask my family on any given day, you know, you're going to see a range of emotions, you know?
Right.
So,
hold on, can I pause you for a sentence? Just a moment. So here we're going to place the pause. It's called daily joy. It's not called 24 hours of joy.
I should call it moment of joy. Here we are. The moment of joy today. The 1 minute, because it's a 1 minute post. You didn't see the rest. Okay. All right, now, back to this therapist. He's just giving you kudos for putting this out there because he teaches mindfulness too. He's actually local. I know this guy. He's really great. And he just keeps telling them he hates to be cliche, but it's okay not to be okay. You know, his thing is, it's just how long you're going to get stuck there.
Right.
And by being more honest with it, you don't stay stuck there as well. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Once again, I am flipping to page 144. Gratitude. I was talking to a therapist yesterday. We were having a conversation. It was the first time we ever spoke. We were just having a nice conversation to meet each other. And she mentioned research that they did with people who suffered with great anxiety. And they had some people, I don't know the specifics because I don't have the link to the research, about some people focusing on gratitude and some people not. And the people who focused on gratitude after, 14, 21 days, whatever it was, their anxiety phenomenally decreased. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I think when you can bring in moments of gratitude, you might be going through, we've all gone through things in our life that are extremely, extremely difficult, right?
Yeah.
And in the midst of all that, you still can find moments of gratitude.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This person's right on. She says that time heals all, and when she looks back almost every time at a difficult circumstance, she looks back with gratitude for that circumstance.
Right? Exactly. They always say we learn more from our failures than from our successes, right? It's one lesson after another. And it's always fascinating how we get the same lesson till we learn it, and then we get a new lesson.
Oh, yeah. Me in the universe, God have conversations like, come on, I swear I understand. Like, we don't need to do that again. Okay, let's get this in. Because, of course, it's one of my favorites. Afraid to touch joy. I think the reason I picked it out is because I think it's a really important one, because sometimes we don't realize how things stay with us. They're very sneaky. Tell the story about...
boy, I have never shared that story publicly before. Ever. And when I was writing the book, it came up, and I thought I needed to put it in the book. And because when I was a child, I don't know, I was 4 or 5 years old, we were living in New Jersey, and my mother got me this incredibly beautiful swing set. And I just loved the swing set. It was just amazing. And then within a very short period of time, things changed. My grandmother passed away. We had to move to Philadelphia. And I watched a man come and take apart my swing set and drive away. And it stuck with me in my heart. Like, a lot of these things are so subconscious, right, from our childhood. So that fast forward, there I am now, 8 years old in 2nd grade, come down the stairs. It's my birthday. I'm all excited. And I see this gorgeous, beautiful blue two-wheeler bike. I so wanted a two-wheeler bike. And I walked right by it and I sat down and started watching TV because I was afraid to even look at it or say anything. I was afraid to touch joy, thinking it was going to be taken away from me. And I remember my mom coming out of the kitchen saying, "Happy birthday. Do you notice anything? You see anything?" And you know, it's very easy sometimes that we don't have a problem with the bad things that go on in our life, but sometimes we're afraid to experience the really good things in our life because we're afraid that they're going to be taken away. So we don't use the good dishes and we save that beautiful blouse or the perfect shoes for the perfect event. And, you know, we're afraid to bring the joy into our lives.
I'm thinking about that because I just used some family heirlooms that were given to me, and I did break Grandma's butter dish.
Okay.
But that's okay. I enjoyed it.
Right. And what do you think? What do you think your grandmother would say?
Well, it wasn't my grandmother, so I'm not sure.
Okay. But if it was yours,
why did you give her the butter dish? She's so clumsy.
If it was your butter dish, would you care
No.
if your son 30 years from now broke the dish?
No, I would want them to use it.
Right. And you'd want them to have a little funny story about the day. Remember that funny story when we broke the butter dish?
Yeah.
Because then it's going to be a funny story that's passed down in the family. It's a memory. Do you remember we were all sitting around, we were laughing, you know, you told that joke, you hit your hand, it knocked the butter dish, it went flying.
No, you know me, I'm like, yeah.
See that?
That's exactly what happened. And then, all right. Harriet, you know me too well. Okay, let's make sure we get this in there because you did mention about events and using all their senses.
Yes.
Let's give them, before we have to wrap up, another little tip of how they can stay mindful within their day, their everyday.
Yeah, I think you can do it very subtly and nobody needs to know. Okay, so whether you set an appointment via your phone once an hour to check in with yourself, or whether you put a little message. I have a little Fitbit. I can set it to vibrate every hour, right? If I'm not walking like 250 steps. In that moment, place that pause, check in with yourself. Are you thinking about a past that can never be changed, right? Or maybe you're looking back on a fond memory. Great, fine. Or are you thinking about a future that has yet to unfold? Or are you maybe worrying about something that might or might not happen, right? But the moment you check in with yourself and you see that you're either thinking of a past or a future, instantaneously, you're back in the present moment, which is the only moment that exists. This one, Sandy Joy Weston, this one right now is the only one that exists. All the others don't exist.
Sandy Joy Weston, I sit right up.
I love saying it. I don't know why.
I know. I can tell. Oh, Harriet, you just crack me up. All right, so we could talk forever about this, but we're going to have to wrap up. But I want to tell them how they can reach you. 1, for speaking engagements. 2, to work with you. 3, for your book. 4, I don't know. Maybe there's a 4th I don't know about.
Yeah. It's all one place. They can just go to my website. Interestingly enough, since Sandy Joy Weston was taken, I went with harrietstein.com. Very easy very easy to get a hold of me, you know. And we've been talking a lot about personal, but I'm going to invite your listeners also to bring this into work. So just when I said like beginner's mind with the in-laws, beginner's mind with your colleagues at work too.
Ooh. Yeah, you do a lot of work in corporations.
I do. I do. I did it for 20 years, almost a decade at Johnson & Johnson. I love teaching in companies because you can see immediate value. It's not something that you have to practice for a year and a half. You saw today, here's some great tips that you can immediately put into practice and teach others today.
All right, so we're flipping it around, and right before we go, to tell them why the age 58 is significant to you.
Yeah, so goes right back to that first page of my book. So because my mom was diagnosed with cancer when she was 58, and interesting, she went from diagnosis to dying in 4.5 months, which is really too young, way too young. And here I was at Johnson & Johnson, this wonderful, amazing company that I loved. And I was teaching mindfulness on the side. It was never part of my job description. And I loved it, but I wasn't teaching it enough. And I wanted to teach it more. So on Friday of March 31st, 6.5 years ago, I left J&J so that I could do this full-time and teach full-time. I had started my own company 12 years ago. And my sister said, your birthday's Sunday. And I'm like, yes. So I was going to be 58 that Sunday. And she said, this is a gift from your mom. She knows, Mom.
Absolutely.
Mom gave you this gift. And I do 100% know that, I'm very, very glad. When I think of the people that I've been able to reach and touch because of people like you, Sandy, bringing me on here today to share this practice, because self-care is not a luxury. It is critically important. So I am very grateful to you, always, very much. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this with all of your listeners, because you are dear to me.
Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. All right, before we go, I got something to say for everyone that says, Sandy, I can't tune in at 3. Don't you worry. I'm going to record it, and when we're done, it will be put up on every single platform. So YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I think we even tweet it. We would both appreciate you sharing it and liking it and rating it. It means the world to us. Again, you got to check out Harry, and I'm telling you, everyone could benefit from this book. Every single person could benefit from this book. So go get it. Yippee-yi-yay. And until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Thank you, Harriet, and toodles.
Thank you, Sandy.